Well, thank you very much, Andrew, and thanks everyone for the opportunity to address you at the AGM. I'm very proud and humbled to be here representing every single person from Fortescue, and I acknowledge the great work that all of our people have done right across the business to deliver the results that I'm going to present to you today. Fortescue, as we know, started from humble beginnings around Andrew's kitchen table, and today we've shipped over 760 million tonnes to our customers throughout Asia, and we're producing that consistently now at around 165 to 170 million tonnes per year. We have some of the world's best iron ore deposits right here in the Pilbara, the world's best address for iron ore, and undoubtedly the most efficient and productive infrastructure of anywhere in the world. And despite all of those wonderful assets, it is the unique culture and our people that differentiate us and provide the Fortescue that you see today. But before I go on with the results, I'd like to share with you a short video that highlights some of the activities of our company. Thank you.
What does it take to be a global leader in the iron ore industry? It's a focus, a 100% focus. To achieve our vision to be the safest, lowest cost and most profitable iron ore producer. To empower our people. To discover the world's resources and embrace innovation. To consistently outperform. By maximising value from our world-class infrastructure and assets. While protecting our most valuable asset, our people. At Fortescue, we embrace new ideas and celebrate and respect people's differences. We're focused on building a bright tomorrow by contributing to Australia's economy and strengthening local communities. We are dedicated to empowering generational change and ending Aboriginal disparity through training, education, employment and business opportunities. We are committed to protecting our environment for future generations and respecting the heritage of Australia's first people. Together, we will continue building businesses that benefit the community. Our people will continue to search for innovative solutions and have the courage and determination to implement them. We are delivering on our vision every day. Together, we are Fortescue.
Well done, Ed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you would have seen from the video, we are very much a values-driven company. And I know a lot of people say that. So what does that really mean? For us at Fortescue, it's not about the banners that we hang on the wall or the pocketbooks that we produce, but it's about the way that we do things around the business. It is the way that everyone acts and responds within our company. I'd like to just touch on a couple of our key values as we go through this morning. Firstly, the values of safety and family. For us, these are linked together and are at the heart of everything that we do. We want to ensure the safety and well-being of all of our people and make sure that everyone's time with Fortescue is a time of growth and development as an individual. And very importantly, that everybody goes home safe and healthy at the end of every shift. And just like families, we reach out to each other and provide that support and help each other achieve and help each other succeed at what we're trying to achieve. And also, just like that family dinner or lunch on Sundays where we sat around the table with our family, there were rules. And there were rules about what you wore and what you didn't wear. There were rules about the way, what you said, or maybe more importantly, what you didn't say. And it's like that family, we have rules and standards within Fortescue that help us all steer and provide a moral compass. Secondly, it's about setting stretch targets, and this is one of the most misunderstood elements of Fortescue's culture. For us, setting stretch targets is a part of the way that we do business. Lots of people say, why don't we under-promise and over-deliver? But that belies the very strength of setting stretch targets in the first place. We set targets about where we want to be, with no idea initially of how we're going to achieve that, and then empower our people to find innovative ways to achieve those targets and to do whatever it takes to drive the business performance to that level. And finally, of course, you need a very big dose of determination. Without sheer determination, Fortescue would never be where it is today. Or internally, we call this never, ever give up on achieving our targets. Fortescue today, ladies and gentlemen, is a very simple business. It's 100% ownership of all of our mining assets, all of our infrastructure assets, mean that we have the flexibility to optimise the business in every way. We've focused on delivering against targets. We've set those stretch targets of what we need to achieve to make our company great, and we've set about systematically and methodically delivering. Our safety performance, our production performance, a relentless focus on productivity and efficiency, because we know that the outcome of that is a lower cost operation. And finally, using the cash flows that we generate to repay the debt that we use to fund the business. Safety performance, as I've talked about, is a core focus for us, and we will not rest until we are the very best at safety, and that means that there'll be no injuries in any of our workplaces. Today, I'm very proud to say that by Q1 of 2017, we've achieved 3.4 on a total recordable injury frequency rate, which is putting us there amongst the best in the global mining industry. But as I said, we're not resting, we're continuing that momentum to continue improving. If we look at our results for the financial year of 2016, we shipped just under 170 million tonnes. We had a season in the Pilbara which was very light on rain and cyclones, which allowed us to do a little better than we had originally forecast. We also continued our focus on costs and achieved a 43% reduction in our cash cost onto ship at $15.43, and importantly, that focus has continued into this year. The strong cash flows we generated allowed us to repay debt, and at the end of 2016, we had net debt at $5.2 billion, and I'm very pleased to say we've continued that repayment, and today net debt stands at around $4.2 billion. NPAT of just under $1 billion, I can assure you we were all going for the big number, but got very, very close, allowed us to pay a final dividend based on our payout ratio at 12 cents Aussie per share, taking the total dividend for the year to 15 cents. Our strategy at Fortescue has always been very, very clear in what drives the organisation. We start with a marketing strategy because we know that we need to deliver our customers what they're looking for on time, on quality, and in the right volumes. That market strategy has led us to be innovative right around the business, to introduce innovation and new technology to improve the productivity and efficiency across the business to optimise the resources that we have. So we constantly balance between our market offer, the processing and mining activities within the business to optimise the value of the resources for our company and for the state of Western Australia. And that's all done through encouraging, empowering and engaging with our people. If we turn for a moment to look at our cost journey over the last few years, A lot of people have remarked that Fortescue's cost journey has been a remarkable overnight success. And like most remarkable overnight successes, it took us about 4 or 5 years to achieve. We have systematically and methodically implemented the strategies to improve the operational efficiency of our business and deliver the cost reductions that you see here in front of you. That was through, firstly, optimising the blends between our Solomon and Chichester operations and improving the metallurgical performance of our processing facilities to continually lower the ore grades that we're able to mine and upgrade into product. This has allowed us to reduce strip ratios and reduce the complexity of our mining operations to allow the significant reductions in our costs. In parallel with that, we've maintained a relentless focus on every part of the business to ensure that operationally we are continuing to improve. Everyone in Fortescue has 2 jobs. The first is to do their job to the absolute best of our ability. And the second is to think of a way to do it tomorrow more efficiently and more productively than we did today. And that has delivered us world-leading performance across a number of areas of the business. And finally, of course, a lower Australian dollar and lower oil price have benefited us greatly, and we've been very careful about capturing all of those values that presents for our business. A quick look through the highlights for financial year 2016. We had a reduction in revenue of some 17% on the back of lower iron ore prices. But despite that, we were able to more than offset that through cost reduction to achieve a 27% improvement in underlying EBITDA and a 200+% increase in net profit after tax. The strong cash flows from operations allowed us to continue repaying debt, and as I mentioned before, we have now achieved 4.2 billion net debt, and we're continuing to pay that down rapidly as we generate further cash flow this year. Our balance sheet is remarkably simple, and that's exactly the way we like it. We have no debt that's due until 2019, and it has the flexibility to continue repaying debt in progressive tranches as we near that date. We will continue to review options to take advantage of the strength of markets, to repay and refinance to make sure that our balance sheet provides us with the lowest cost, the most flexibility and the longest tenure possible for the business. If I turn for a moment to so far this year, our Q1 results have us on track to deliver the budget and targets that we set for 2017. Safety performance at 3.4 as a TRIFR, as I said before, has accelerated the improvement in safety, and I'm very pleased to see that that's an area of the business that we have been able to achieve faster than we were before. C1 costs for the quarter at $13.55 are well on target to achieve the $12 to $13 C1 for the full year of 2017, and we shipped just under 44 million tonnes for the quarter, on track for a 165 to 170. And during the quarter we paid back another 700 million of debt, which is continuing to take us on that journey. I'd like to turn for a moment to the market. This graph here is one that we present at all of our investor presentations. And just to explain it for a moment, on the left-hand side, we have millions of tonnes to map the black line of iron ore stocks at Chinese ports. The reason we monitor this is it's a very good way of telling whether the iron ore industry is in supply-demand balance. If there's excess supply, the stocks go up. If there's shortage of supply, the stocks go down. And we can see that despite some movement, it has been relatively stable for the last 18 months or so. If we go back to the period on the blue line from early 2012 through to the end of 2013, we can see I knew I'd make a mistake. We can see a reasonably consistent patch of almost 2 years through here when the iron ore price was around $130 a tonne. If we roll forward, we see the significant reduction in iron ore price during this period. But since early 2015, the iron ore price has been remarkably stable, and there is a flat trend in terms of price despite short-term volatility. That short-term volatility is driven by the very high level of futures trading in the commodity. But the key point here is that we have relatively stable port stocks and therefore supply-demand balance, and we're seeing an iron ore price that's trading somewhere between $40 and $60 a tonne, and has done that consistently for the last 18 months. If we look at the cost curve for the industry, on this side here, this is the cost of delivery to China in US dollars per tonne, the so-called Platts index, and this is the total volume of iron ore supplied into the Chinese market. Back in 2012, if we look around the 85 percentile on the curve, it predicts an iron ore price of around $130 a tonne, which is what we saw on the chart previously. And I must say at this point that I find it much easier to predict the past than I do the future, so I'm going to leave that to others. If we roll forward to 2016, we see the growth in the market out here to 1.2 billion tonnes of iron ore consumed to make the 800 million tonnes per annum of steel that we see in China today. Secondly, the 4 large low-cost producers, including ourselves, have expanded and now supply around 2/3 of the market. Despite that, there is still some 400 million tonnes of relatively high-cost supply that's needed to meet market demand in China. You can see the deflation across the entire cost curve. The producer currencies of every one of those major nations, the Brazilian real, the South African rand, the Australian dollar, and even the Chinese renminbi, all deflated between 2012 and 2016. And of course, the oil price came from around $110 a barrel to around $50 a barrel where we see it today. That's what caused this massive deflation across the whole supply curve. And today, if we look at the 85 percentile on the 2016 cost curve, it predicts an iron ore price about where we see it today, around about $70 a tonne. So we think that looking at these dynamics that have occurred, it is very easy to explain why the industry is where it is today. And at these iron ore prices, the very strong cash flows that we're generating at Fortescue will allow us to continue investing in the long term for our business. If we turn to the company's performance specifically, I'm very pleased to say that we have outperformed all of our market indices over the last 12 months. And of course, we see that in the share price today. That's very pleasing because we were heavily discounted in the past as a result of the level of gearing that was on our balance sheet. And I think we are now getting very solid recognition for the fact that we have sustainably low costs and we are continuing to repay our debt. Pulling together our processes around our improvement within the business. As you heard from other directors today, we are on a journey that has no end, but one that allows us to continue looking every day to improve the business. From setting stretch targets to then engaging, empowering and encouraging our people to look for the most innovative ways that they can find to continue improving the business. To shamelessly harvest good ideas wherever they find them, right across the business, and make sure that we're implementing those to provide the outcomes that we're looking for. At Fortescue, though, we are not just about iron ore tonnes and the financial results. We want every one of our communities to benefit from the growth and development of our company. And for us, that very much features the local Indigenous communities in the Pilbara. We are very proud today to say that through providing opportunity for jobs, opportunity for training and development, and opportunities to create and grow business capacity and capability through contracting, we today employ 1,100 Aboriginal people in the business, some 15% of our workforce, and perhaps more importantly, we've written over $1.8 billion worth of contracts to Aboriginal companies and their joint venture partners. That's incredibly important because we know that Aboriginal companies employ a lot more Aboriginal people than non-Aboriginal companies. At Fortescue, we also embrace diversity in all its forms, because we know that the only way we'll be an innovative company that continues to improve and continues to learn will be by harvesting ideas from people with varied backgrounds, experience, and talents. And part of that is our gender diversity program, where we're looking to develop workplaces that encourage and support greater levels of diversity, so that we have a level playing field and can attract the very best talent from everywhere to come to our company. So, ladies and gentlemen, our focus has very much been around delivery of the strategic targets that we set for the company. We have meticulously and steadfastly focused on the things that we needed to do to achieve those outcomes of setting those stretch targets, empowering, encouraging and engaging our people to achieve it. And today, we do have some of the world's best assets in iron ore and infrastructure, but it is that unique culture of our people that differentiates us. Thank you.